Hello, and welcome to the Bad Manner review for Remember Me. The cyberpunk genre isn't used nearly as much as it should be, so seeing French developer Dontnod Entertainment release their debut, Remember Me, is a wonderful thing in itself. After a rocky development that saw title and publisher changes, Remember Me was finally released to consoles this year, and leads the charge this month on PlayStation Plus. Remember Me sees players take control of Nilin, a young woman who awakes in a prison to find that she is the bearer of incredible powers, her escape the priority of the terrorist rebels' mysterious leader. This all takes place in a flawlessly realised cyberpunk setting where memories are a commodity, bought and sold on a daily basis. Dontnod certainly know their genre, as the game is full of everything you'd expect. Stylish outfits, cybernetic implants galore, horribly mutated addicts, and a healthy dose of black and gold. The soundtrack is also quintessential cyberpunk. The highlight of the game is the combo-based combat. It flows naturally, each attack customized to have one of 4 effects: damage, healing, cooldown reduction, and chaining. There are 4 combos in total, all of them crafted to be easy to memorize. The combo customization has an abundance of options and thus incredible depth. Overall, it is simply satisfying. Learning, mastering, and pulling off efficient combos is rewarding in itself, without the flashy gimmicks of similar games. In a remarkable feat for an action game, combat is kept fresh by the constant influx of new mechanics. Each encounter is different due to new enemies, combinations, or weapons at Nilin's disposal. Although the final level acts as the greatest hits of these, Nilin also gains presens, abilities that have a huge effect on either herself or her enemies. These are a lot of fun to play with, particularly when you're turning enemies against each other or sneaking up on them for a silent kill. Boss fights also benefit from this. None of them take the easy path, simply increasing the scale of the more common enemies, but bringing completely different mechanics for the player to adapt to and overcome. These fights are not only well designed mechanically, but also aesthetically, particularly those that take place on the digital stage. This also carries over to the diverse cast of bosses, their designs telling their story where exposition cannot. When not beating on mutants or mercenaries, Nilin's journey takes her to the streets and buildings of Neo-Paris. While immaculately designed, there is very little to actually do there. The player isn't given the opportunity to diverge from the path to explore alleys, meet interesting strangers, or find secrets. This is largely due to the lack of any hub, that there is one town area that could have been expanded on. It's more of a missed opportunity than anything inherently bad. The platforming is also fairly weak, mainly due to the intrusive orange arrows that drag you to your next destination whenever you begin climbing. This again removes any sense of exploration or discovery, replaced by a rather simple game of follow the leader. This is a real shame, as a lot of the traversal elements are exciting, particularly when used in chases. While the story's delivery is sometimes a little slow, it's a brilliant tale. Nilin is a great protagonist, her confusion in sifting through elements of the plot a good mirror of the player's own mental process. Her journey to take down Memorize draws the player in thanks to her well-delivered monologues, delivered with spades of emotion that make her incredibly relatable. Remember Me is a classic cyberpunk tale of an evil megacorporation and an individual's efforts in tearing it down. Where it excels, though, is in the more personal and character-focused moments, all written and delivered remarkably well, and culminating in a touching, heartbreaking finale. While Nilin's quest is filled with twists that some may roll their eyes at, they are always believable and never come across as ridiculous or an afterthought. The story goes much deeper than Nilin's journey, though. Like any good cyberpunk story, fantastical ideas are explored in ways that make them relevant to our own lives. In Remember Me's case, the population's obsession with reliving memories is a brilliant metaphor for our own escapism, even acting as a commentary on video games themselves. It's almost like playing through a Philip K. Dick novel. The main criticism of the story has nothing to do with any existing plot point, but rather what could have been. There is a huge variety of themes to explore via the genre, so only seeing a few here was a little disappointing. It seems the developer didn't quite have the time they needed to fit in all their ideas, though the game gains a remarkable level of polish from this. Despite a few minor issues, Remember Me is a great package that combines rewarding gameplay, a genuinely thought-provoking story, and a well-realised setting to deliver a great game that gets a Bad Manner 8 out of 10.